All right, hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode, Art Straight Talk. And I believe it's the first Art Straight Talk 2026. So I hope everybody had a good holiday season and you ready to grind. I got a really good topic for today, and that topic is it's a double topic, and the two kind of coincide. I believe they do. But it's number one, being yourself as an artist. And if you're an artist on YouTube, how being yourself could either coincide or not coincide with the algorithm. And to help me with this, I got a longtime friend, and he's another amazing artist. His name is Joel Charles. I'm gonna bring him in a minute, and we're gonna hit this topic head on. We were already discussing it off camera, so he's like, hey, why not just put it on camera and put it out there for all of you all? So strap in. This is about to be a damn good episode. Don't go anywhere. All right, so I'm back, and I told y'all I have my boy with me, Joel Charles. He's another artist, a longtime friend. And like I said, we were talking about this earlier today, off camera. We were talking about just being an artist and how you should, number one, always be yourself, you know. And we was talking about the YouTube algorithm, you know, and how it could either work for you or against you. And in my case, it typically works against me because you guys know I have a small channel. I have 45, maybe 50 subscribers, but I'm not trying to have a million views. So me personally, I say fuck the algorithm. You know, because I can't be me if I'm trying to conform to the algorithm just to get likes or comments or subs or whatnot, you know. Well, how do you feel about that?
So yeah, peace, y'all. So my outlook on it, it's very similar to my man Ken over here. He's been really a lifelong inspiration to me and our crew. You know what I'm saying? Because this dude has always been like spearheading, you know, his creative force, and it's like when you see him get it in and grind the way he does, and voice his, you know what I'm saying, his expression the way he does, it puts me in this thing. It's like, damn, I gotta get on my shit. I gotta, like, whatever I'm gonna do, you know what I'm saying, whether it is visual or it's whatever, because I do sometimes different kinds of arts. You know, sometimes it's visual, sometimes it's performing. But it's like, whatever I gotta do, it's like, I try to go hard like my man, because it's like, damn, yeah, that's the standard. So from that aspect, I believe 1,000 that you gotta go off your own voice and your own understanding of who you are. You know what I'm saying? You know, your overstanding even of just, hey, this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is what I'm into. And, you know, if it works out that the algorithm likes that, then so much the better, right?
Right.
You know, for me, it's been like a double-edged sword. Because like I've got involved in like YouTube shorts. So my channel is called Salamander's World.
Go check them out.
So go check that out. So I'm a martial artist, and so I also express myself through doing some of my fundamental movements, you know, through what my teacher called martial arts movement, because he was when he was still teaching, he did it from a very spiritual and philosophical perspective, right? So he was, in a sense, an artist. And so we learned a lot of that style from him. And he's trained with some of the best, you know, out there. Guru Dan Inosanto, you know, many teachers, Krumoy Ron Smith, you know, who brought Muay Thai boxing to St. Louis region, to the Midwest back in the 70s and 80s. So this is, you know, certified masters here. Right. So whatever little bit that I know that I've been able to glean from that, I put into my shorts, right? Just to show the fundamentals and how it kind of keeps me in my artistic mindset, you know. So I even will put maybe some music to it or something like that. And so my interest is martial arts, but I'm also into philosophy, I'm into mysticism, and I'm into visual arts or even graphic. So sometimes I do t-shirts, you know. We worked on a comic book together. You see what I'm saying?
Shadow Kill.
Baby.
Google it. Shadow Kill, Shadow Within the City. There's a whole book series.
That's right.
On it. Google it. Go to Amazon. Look up Shadow Within the City. Get books 1 and 2 and the comic book. And just so you know, he was the lead artist on the comic book. And so 95 to 99% of the artwork in the comic book is his work. I just did backgrounds and a little bit of lettering, you know. So yeah, if you want to see a good example of his work, go check out the Shadow Kill. Go check out the Shadow Kill comic book. And while we on Shadow Kill, we cannot mention Shadow Kill without mentioning our other brother who also helped me write the Shadow Kill comic book series, and that's KG Bethlehem. KG. Yeah. So, yeah, we cannot talk about that series without giving credit to KG Bethlehem, because he brought me in as another writer, because you guys know I also write. And, you know, he got Joel on as the lead artist for that. So yeah, shout out to KG. But yeah, getting back to just being yourself as an artist, and like I said, if you're a YouTube artist, you know, that is, you know, whether or not being yourself coincides with the YouTube algorithm, you know, it's entirely on you. You know, if like Joel said, if what you doing tends to roll with the algorithm, then cool. But if you're like me, you know, my videos have low views, 20, maybe 30 views at the most. But I don't conform to the algorithm because, like I said, I feel like if I did that, I wouldn't be being myself as an artist. And to me, that's more important than having a million subscribers or whatnot. Half of them gonna be fucking bots anyway. You know, I'd rather have 10 actual people as subscribers who genuinely take interest in my work than have 100 bots. You know, any day. You know, that's just me. And the other thing, I think as artists, regardless whether you're a visual artist, performing artist, I forgot recording artist. I think we all take inspiration from other artists within our industry or our field. And that's perfectly okay to be inspired by another artist, but don't do it to the point where you become a carbon copy of them.
AKA a clone.
Yeah, there you go. You can take inspiration from other artists. Like, for example, I grew up watching Bob Ross. I'm inspired by Bob Ross, but I'm not trying to be one of these little fake ass Bob Ross wannabes that you see out here. You know, I might take a certain technique on how he does this or how he does that and apply it to my own work, but I'm not trying to copy him. I like Norman Rockwell, Kehinde Wiley. You know, those are some of the artists, along with my father, who's probably my biggest artist inspiration. Rest in peace, Daddy.
Rest in power to your side.
But I take a little of everybody and incorporate it into what I do. That's the point of today's video. You know, don't compromise yourself, being yourself, just to meet a certain standard, and don't think trying to be somebody else is going to help you be more of yourself. Just think about that. How ridiculous does that sound? If you trying to constantly emulate this person or that person, this artist or that artist, how can you possibly be yourself when you worry about trying to be somebody else? I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's a tough one. In other words, we don't want to live for the clicks, right? I mean, like, I look at my where I'm at with that. I've been on both sides of the algorithm, right? When I first started, my thing was I wanted to find a way to continue expressing myself through the martial art that I learned. It's Kali, Eskrima. It's a Filipino martial art, so it's, there's a culture to it, and it kind of, similar to mine, you know what I'm saying? Like, my people's Haitian, we from the West Indies, but like the people from there and the people from, let's say, the Pacific Islands, there's sometimes more commonalities than not. And so I just like felt inspired by that, just to like do those things. So like some of the movements I can relate to, because it's very indigenous oriented. It's got some African rhythms and things like that. So when I do my shorts, I might move a certain way. That's, that it's polyrhythmic. And so I said, I need to do something so I can like continue to practice, because there was a time where I just wasn't practicing, and I just felt like, man, I felt like I wasn't expressing myself. And so that was an outlet for me, and initially, like I said, I'm just gonna do it. Because I've been thinking about it for several years. I was like, man, I want to just get back into it, so damn, let me just do it. And so once I started doing it, after a few shorts, I was picking up views. I'm like, oh, well, that's nice. It was a nice side effect, you know what I mean? So,
but the key was you were being you.
Yeah.
You weren't trying to, like we've been saying all the time, you weren't trying to be like this martial artist or that martial artist. You was just taking the influence that they had on you and applying it to your form of martial arts.
Because that's actually Bruce Lee's philosophy. You know what I mean? That you
like
must take what is learned by the Jeet Kune Do lifestyle or philosophy and make it your own. He said, I can't do what you do, you can't do what I can do. Right? You come from you have a different physicality, you have a different mindset, you might be different age, culture, whatever. He said, but make that part of you. So that applies to art, because it's still an art. So it's
and really, not just truthfully, it applies to anything you do. Like we're also writers. We also write. That it applies to our writing. So it is much more than just applying to art. You can apply this to whatever you do. But the message, the number one thing we want you to go away with, be yourself. Period. Know, if you're a YouTube artist, know why you're on YouTube. Are you on there for 1 million views, or are you on there like I am, just as another platform to get your work out? Not necessarily. I don't care about the little YouTube plats and no, because I think like I said, I think the algorithm is just full of shit to me. That's just me. Not knocking anybody, none of the big channels that get paid off of YouTube. Hey, get your bag,
Right.
But
it is a business model. It is it's a strict formula you got to run with.
Yeah. And here's another thing to think about too. Remember, the algorithm, it's not for you. It's for YouTube.
That's true. That's true.
It's for YouTube. They put that in there for them. It's benefiting YouTube more than you or anybody, any other YouTube content creator. You know, if some of you could remember when YouTube first started, it wasn't all this shit. You know, it was just strictly videos. You go to somebody's page or channel, and it's just videos. It was no ads, there was no algorithm. All that shit started coming along when they started getting commercialized and realized
That AdSense, boy, the ad space is everything.
yeah, they could start making money off of not only the content creators, but also the subscribers and followers of the content creators. So yeah, bottom line, BU, we didn't want to make this too long. We had the topic in mind. We wanted to come in, smash it out, knock you over the head. I think we did that. So deuces. See y'all in the next one.
Peace.